Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Tim Bryce. I'm a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in El Paso. Well, I'm here to kind of give you a tour of Gemini. As of the recording of this presentation in late August 2025, the National Weather Service does have access to Gemini. Now, in the future, we may get access to other of these multimodal models, these LLMs, these generative AIs. But right now we have access to Gemini. You may have played around with Gemini or ChatGPT or Anthropic's model. And Grok is another one that's out there. Meta has the large llama models. There's lots of different flavors, and that's the exciting thing. Right now, these companies are fighting tooth and nail for eyeballs, and the changes, the improvements are coming fast and furious. So even in the time that I've in the last 6 months that I've been playing around with this stuff, I've seen tremendous jumps, and they keep leapfrogging each other. So it is amazing what we can do, what I couldn't even do a few months ago, I can now do now. So it is amazing. So I do want to give us kind of a tour so that you understand the different aspects of it. It's not that hard. It's actually pretty simple, but it can be a little intimidating. I mean, when you get to a screen like this and it's just a big blank screen, what do I do? What do I do? It's actually pretty simple. I'm going to walk you through. There's a few little things, nuggets here and there, but it's really not that hard. The first thing I want you to do is you can go, this is the web version. You can get Gemini on your phone. But if you're doing work for the Weather Service, make sure you're in the NOAA version of that. And the way you do that, if you've got an icon on your email, it should be the same icon in the upper right hand corner. It should also say Gemini for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. That's your cue for what that you're in the right place. I have a personal Gemini instance, but and it actually says "Hello, Tim." So I always know when I'm in one or the other. I can tell. And the upper right-hand corner has my personal Gmail icon as well. So always make sure if you're doing government work, that you're in the Gemini for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, for NOAA, kind of thing. So this big bright white screen can be very intimidating. What do I do? There's nothing here. So basically, this is the area that the AI will respond in. And what you do is you enter in what's called a prompt. I'm going to do a whole presentation on prompt, because prompting the AI, you can give it a general prompt or you can give it a more specific prompt. The more specific, the more information you can give it, usually you get a better response. So you can give it a question. You can ask it a question. You can ask it to do something for you, and it will do it. So you can ask it a question like, I'm giving a presentation on Gemini. Can you introduce yourself? And then you just can hit enter, and it's going to think for a few seconds and give you a response. So it's thinking some more. And that, if you watch my last video, you understand what it's done is that it's taken what I typed in there, changed it to tokens, and now it's responding in tokens, and then changing those over to what you and I can read here. So yeah, so it says, hello everyone, I'm Gemini. I'm a large language model developed by Google. Think of me as a creative and helpful collaborator. It gave me, it's very nice. It gave me different introductions for itself. Talks about how it generates and summarizes and can help you write and debug code and answering. Option 3, it was very, very thorough. So you can see just by having it do that, it gave me this nice kind of presentation on just some of the simple things that you can do. So in this prompting area, you can type all kinds of information. You can give it code. You can actually attach things. So this little plus sign here, it allows you to add something from your Google Drive. Before you can do that, you have to hook that up to your Google Drive. I can show you how to do that here in just a second. Or you can just simply upload a file. So I've got some files on my computers here. So I've got this. I grabbed this from SPC's website. This is all the hail for the last whatever that 70 years or so. So you can upload that file to Gemini, and then you can give it a prompt. Can you analyze? And I can't spell, so I apologize. Analyze this file and highlight any trends or interesting information. This isn't the best prompt, I can assure you, but it'll get the job done. So what it's going to do, it's going to take this file, and this was a pretty big file. I forget how many megabytes of file, but it's a big file, and that it's now processing this information and it's doing what I asked it to. It's analyzing the file and it's going to highlight any trends or information. So that's the beauty. These large language models, these generative AIs, are very good at taking in large amounts of data, looking for patterns, and coming up with an answer. And it's giving me this cool graph, nice, of hail sizes versus injuries and fatalities. You know, I've actually done this file a couple of times, and one of the interesting things with these AIs, it will give you different information sometimes. So it's never given me this graph before. It's kind of interesting. I've seen these other graphs, hail sizes versus years. So you can see it's pulled out all this kind of interesting information just by analyzing that file. You can see number of hail reports by month of the year, number of reports, things like that. And then it kind of gave me all of this information here. Now, the thing that I need to do is kind of go through and make sure that this is all factual and true information. So you can see, you can attach a file. I could attach an image and tell me describe this image, things like that. So with this attachment thing, and I'm going to start a new session here. And to do that, you saw it's real simple just to start a new session. You just go over here and you click on new chat. Reasons you might want to do that are a couple. Maybe you have a different thought, you want to go in a new direction, a new project, or things like that. We have what's called a 1,000,000 token limit on our interaction with each kind of chat. So what that means is that once you hit that 1,000,000 token limit, and it would take a lot. I mean, that is a lot of back and forth dialogue, or if you've uploaded several large files, you could hit that token limit. It's not going to tell you it hit the token limit. What's going to happen is that all of a sudden it's going to give you maybe nonsensical answers or just strange answers. It will begin to maybe forget what at the beginning of this discussion. That's one of the neat things, is that you can have a continuous discussion with it within this chat session, and it will remember what you said at the beginning. But like I said, if there's too much information, if it goes past this 1,000,000 token limit, and that's hundreds and hundreds of pages of text, so it would be actually a challenge to hit it. It will begin to forget things like at the beginning that you had typed in, or it just may not give you. If you get a feeling that I don't think it's kind of giving me good information, or it seems like something's a little off, just hit this new chat, bang. It'll give you a new chat session, and you can start there. Now, it's not going to remember anything from the previous one. So if you did like a program or a file, you're going to have to re-upload it again. But it does give you a way to, if you do feel like you're kind of not getting the answers that you want, it seems like something's just not right. It's different than it hallucinating. If it's just not doing it, something seems off, just hit that a new chat, and then you can start going in. Now, so that's if you can upload audio files, you can upload, like I said, code, you can upload pictures, videos, and things like that. And then you can have it, do work on whatever you've uploaded. Now here you've got some tools. You can have it create a video. All you need to do is kind of select it, and then it's going to say, give me a photo. and you take that photo and you upload it, and then you tell it, I took like a picture of my dog, and I said, hey, put this dog in this photo like it's driving a car, and it'll give you a short video. I think right now we're limited to like 3 seconds, but it's still something fun to do. So you can upload a picture and it can create a video based on how you describe what you want the picture to kind of do to come out in the video kind of thing. Another tool that we have is deep research. So what you can do is with deep research, and if you watch my other video, you know that it's these large language models are trained on terabytes and terabytes of data from the internet. It's basically hoovered up the internet. What it does is that it grabs the information and provides it to you. What this deep research does, it allows it to do more. It compares more things. It does some, I guess, deeper thinking, for lack of a better word. I one time I said, hey, can you tell me, do some research on whether Tornado Alley is shifting to the southeast. And what it does is that it runs off and it does a deep dive on academic papers, on websites and things, and it will pull up this information. Before it even gets started, it's going to build out a plan. So what I could do, if I say do deep research, I can say, is Tornado Alley shifting, and if so, what direction or part of the country is it shifting to? And then you just go, and it's going to start to do. So what the first thing it's going to do is it's going to come up with a plan. And I'm going to let it think here for a while, and we're going to go on because it actually takes some time to do this. So while it is thinking on this, and okay, so here's your research plan. So you see it kind of tells you more what it wants to do, how it's going to get there, and it says it's going to be ready in a few minutes. So it even gives you the option to say, I don't want that, I can do this. You can edit the plan, but if we click on start, off it goes. And it's going to, you'll watch it, you can actually sit here and watch it, and it's going to, you can see different, how it's doing its research, running out, grabbing, you see all these websites that it's going to start to pull information from, start to analyze that information. So while it's doing that, we are going to move on. So if you ever have like a deep research problem that you want Gemini to work on, it can do that. It can bring in lots of different sources. You can actually bring in your own sources, like I said, and attach them, and then have it analyze those, summarize large papers through that attachment function again. All right, so Canvas is another neat thing. You can have it actually create code, and then in that code, so give me an interactive web page that demonstrates the concepts of lake effect snows. So now it's gonna, since I told it in Canvas, it's gonna open up this kind of dual window here in a second. And what it will do is that as it's generating this code and this web page, and there you can see it's creating this web page for me on the fly. This is, and when it gets done, I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom. I think when it gets done, it will actually jump me over to a preview of what this web page looks like. But it's standard HTML, and you can do it in Python. You can tell it, hey, program this in Python, program this in C++. It can do many different languages, and I'll probably do a video on the different programming aspects of the model here. But you can see now it's done, and let's see what it came up with here. And you can see it did not do the best job. It's got the cold air moving over, and you can see it doesn't really, I don't really see anything moving across the lake. But you can see, that's the interesting thing. You can now have it go from there and I can take it, hey, I don't see any dots moving across the lake. I've done this before, and it would move dots across the lake, and you can see how they were gaining the moisture. But you can see in essence how it came up with this. So we can go back over here to the code. I could adjust the code. I could have Gemini adjust the code. And you could go like that. And like I said, it doesn't have to be an HTML. I could just take this HTML document and dump it now into a website, and it would work in theory as you've seen here. So that's a way for it to do. Now, you see how it didn't come out quite perfect, so you can kind of say, I didn't see any particles moving across the lake. Can you adjust it so that I see those particles? Oh, I can't quite see here. Here we go. Particles along with the snow at the end. So you can then iterate. So it's gonna take that and go on. So we'll let it think on, and we'll come back to see if it did any better. So some of your other tools. Oh, images, and of course it's really, you can have it create images. Give me an image of a desert landscape with a mountain and thunderstorm in the distance. And then you can have it'll think, it'll take that. Again, you can get real more detailed in your description of what the image you want, but it will create this image on the fly for you. Now, if you're having it create, there you go, it's pretty good. Let's see let me zoom in. It's not bad. It's pretty neat. So you can see, you can create these images on the fly. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I'm creating images, I try to make my prompts very detailed so that I get it as close to what I want. I don't try to create prompts that have words on them. It is not good at all. It will have, if you try to have it like do a technical things like show me a picture of a supercell with labels, you're going to have misspelled words on there. I'm not sure why it just can't spell words when it's creating images. Now, if you go back, if you saw my other presentation, you understand that it's creating tokens. It's these images, it's creating these images out of tokens, and for some reason, it just gets the words wrong as far as the spelling goes. And I'm sure that will be adjusted in the future, but right now I try to keep my images whenever I'm creating them as simple as possible. And if I do it with more technical things, I try to limit it, say no text. I had one that it had a sign in there that had turn around, don't drown, but of course it was misspelling that, so I said don't put the sign in there. And it took it out, and then it gave me a very nice low water crossing after I had done that. So just be aware of that spelling in images, image creation is not Gemini's strong suit kind of thing. All right, so let's go back to I am curious about this website. Of course, great observation. So it saw that I was, let me see, did it make any difference here? Oh, there I can barely see it now. It's got these green dots, and then it becomes the snow over here. So very interesting. So I asked it to adjust things. Oh, you can't see it. Good heavens. All right, so here's the image now I went over, and you can see that it does have the green dots moving over the water. It seems like the dots are coming out of the water, but you get the idea. But you see it did make an adjustment of what I asked it for. So again, kind of neat. All right, so we've got our images there. This image came out pretty good. All right, so I've covered the different things in here. You got I can turn this off now. So you got your different tools. We covered how to make videos. The deep research. Oh, how is our deep research going? It is still churning away. It's still doing its thinking, but it does mention Dixie Alley there. It's doing more research on different websites, so it is just happily, look at it, it keeps going. So it's doing its job. All right. So I've kind of taken you through the basics of the prompt, how you attach something, the different tools that we have access to. Oh, I'm sorry, this is actually my personal one. I did want to show you that. So you can see it actually says Hello Tim, and it has my little Tigger icon, which is my personal Gmail. So immediately I said, well, wait a second, something's not right here. This is because it's my personal one versus the government one. So let me go ahead and close this one. And now we're back into the government one. So we went over where you type the prompt, you saw the responses. You can attach, like I said, you can attach videos, photos, audio files, import code, your different tools. You can even talk to it. If you've got a microphone, I could speak to it. So that basically covers everything in here. Now, we do actually have two models available to us. We've got in the upper left hand corner where it says Gemini here, you see Gemini Pro. If I click on that, I've got a Flash version of Gemini. And the Flash version is, just think of it as like it sounds. It's very quick. It doesn't do a lot of thinking. So if you use Flash if you need quick answers, if you need simple answers. Use Pro if you needed to create things like code, if you needed to make web pages, if you needed to do deep research, if you needed to do more complicated things like put a presentation together for you. Honestly, I keep it on Pro most of the time. Every now and then, if I need something real quick, I'll flip it over to Flash. Because you can tell on the Pro, it can take a minute or so for it to think through everything and give you that response. The Flash will give you much briefer responses and much faster. So we have those two options available to us. All right. So we've got the different models. Like I said, you have, if you mouse over here on the left-hand side, you can see your prompts that you've had in the past. And it does save these prompts for months and months and months. These are available not only here, but I'll show you where else they are also. But you can see these different sessions are saved over the time. If I go back up here, you can see you can pin some of these. Now, one of the things that you can do is create what's called scheduled tasks. And I've created a scheduled task where every day when I come into work, it will give me kind of a update on the latest AI news. So what you do is you tell Gemini here, hey, every morning at 6 a.m., do something, XYZ. And it will then schedule it, and you can adjust that scheduled task. And what I did is then I on this prompt, instead of it getting lowered, you can either rename it, or you can, in this case, I pinned it so that I could see it's always at the top of my prompt list, and I can go there and get that latest information. Now it's telling me, let's see, are we done here? See that blue dot there? I think that's telling me it's either thinking or it's done on its analysis. Yep, it's done. So it's done this deep dive on the shift of Tornado Alley to the southeast, and it talks, you see sections on and on. It quotes different papers. So you can see that this is a much more detailed response that it gave because we did that deep thought. And it's kind of interesting. On and on and on and on and on. And then it lists all the websites that it used. So very interesting. I always like kind of throwing ideas at it. So something else over here that I did want to talk about, you've got all your prompts. Let me mouse over again here. You have gems, and I'm going to do a whole presentation on gems. You click on Explore Gems. Gems are kind of customized large language models. So what you can do is you can create these gems, and it will take what you've already programmed into it. So this is a gem that I set up for our aviation forecaster. And what it is that I had it in the past, I've been testing it, said create me some, based on some weather, the current weather information, give me some TAF discussions, give me some TAFs. So I've been experimenting with it. So these gems, and they're fun to play with because I have lots of different ones. I created it like a reference gem. They give you some kind of canned gems, which are great. You have all these learning coach, sales pitch. Some of these apply to us, some of us don't. Like I said, I haven't really used any of those, but I have used these. I created a reference gem. So I took all of our the Nuicio NWS agreement. I took the El Paso SDM. I took all of the NWS directives, and I've uploaded them. And I'll just show you where they are, because real quickly, because what you do is you edit these. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole presentation on gems, but you can see I've given it this knowledge of the Nuicio agreement, the NWS directives, the SDM. And then I gave it this information here, said you're an expert of the National Weather Service. When asked, review the different documents and then answer my question based only on these documents. And I say, don't make up information. Base it only on this information. So I give it this name, I give it this instructions, and I give it this knowledge, this information, and then I can type in a reference, or I type in a prompt, and it will give me a response based on that gem. So gems are something that's really neat. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole presentation on that. And oh yeah, I did want to go over down here on settings and help real quickly. There's not a lot here. Like I said, we've got activities, and the thing with activities is that that's where you're another place that you can find all of your prompts and your responses. So you can go back in time and see a prompt that you gave. You click on details, and it will show you not only the prompt but the image that was created. In this case, I asked it to create an image. So you can go back and see all the different prompts that you've done, that I've done over time, and back and back and back and back. So that's a great tool if you're trying to remember something. You can either find it there or in your prompt list at the side of Gemini here. Real quickly, oh yeah, if you want Gemini to be able to interact with your Gmail from the web, you need to connect it up. And the way you do that is that you click on Settings and then Apps. And then you load this page here, and you tell it, yes, you can have access to my Gmail, my documents, Keep, Calendar, Drive, and Task. Now keep in mind that they are not training any of the AI on any of the NOAA data. So the data stays, your data stays inside of here. So if you're having it scan your documents, if you're having it scan your emails, the data is staying within NOAA. It's not being exported out to Google for them to train the model on or anything like that. So you can also tell it some of the other things that we don't really mess around with. I did have it turned on YouTube so it could find YouTube, because I do scan. You can actually have it summarized, give it a YouTube channel, and it will summarize the videos in there. So make sure if you want to have it interact with your Gmail or your docs in Google Drive, that you come in here and you turn this switch on, and then you'll be able to do that. One other thing in here is scheduled items. I haven't played too much with that, schedule actions, but like I said, give me a daily digest of multiple stories about AI models. And you can pause it, I could edit it, and I say every morning give it to me at 7 a.m. So that's where you find these scheduled actions. Don't call them scheduled items, they have to be called scheduled actions, or just tell it, give me an action there at a certain time. So, all right. That is my tour of Gemini. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. But remember, just jump in. The good news is you can't break it. Just jump in there and start experimenting, start to find its limits. I have found its limits. You can upload too big a file. You can end up talking to it for too long. So when that happens, you just, like I said, just start a new chat window. Find its limits, find out anything, uh, you know, find out its weaknesses and its strengths, and then use those strengths and be aware of its weaknesses. I'm looking at my notes here. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. So I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can always drop me an email. So have a great day and get out there and try Gemini. Bye bye.